Hi, very good morning, Jim from Astar. You want a pole shift update? I'm going to give you one, right? You know, I saw the comments in the comments section yesterday, and I am disgraced. I've got to say that. And that's putting it very light-heartedly. You know, people are obviously blind to see what's going on here. You know, not only are we being targeted by YouTube, clearly because we have an alternative vision as to what we see going on around the world, and especially right now in the Middle East. YouTube hate it. And it is because of the charter that they have with international governments around the world that YouTube are doing this. And you know what? What really shocks me more than anything is the level of sympathy and support from people that come to this channel and rudely, absolutely rudely demand pole shift news. Nobody here paid for my education at university. Nobody is paying for my time. Well, you think the money that we get together occasionally throughout the month is enough to keep what we do here going as long as we have? Where do you think that money's come from? It's come out of my pocket, and a little support that we have had from a few like-minded people. You want a magnetic pole update? I'm going to give you one, and I've said this before. Firstly, you are right now at this point in time experiencing a very rare anomaly to the tune of 780,000 years ago. Now, pay attention to the next words that I say, because it's very important. Before 780,000 years ago, your planet's magnetic poles went through reversals every 300 to 350,000 years. Think about that. Because if you take nothing away from what I'm going to say in this video, at least if you think about that, what I've just said, then I think you get the picture. Because your magnetic poles are overdue a reversal by 500,000 years. 500,000 years overdue. And 125 years ago, the poles on this planet began to reverse. Now think about what is going on in the core of our Earth. And look no further than our neighbouring planet that one day had a magnetosphere, one day had active volcanoes on its surface, had water and had an atmosphere, and lost it. And we know why it lost it, because the magnetosphere collapsed. Okay? That's all you need to know. You're obviously not interested in supporting somebody that is monitoring those poles migrations every 3 seconds. You're not prepared to pay for that. So, you know, for me to propose anything other that would cost more money in the search and pursue of more information with regards to those poles is out of the question. Because if I said to you, let's get £15,000-20,000 together, let's get 1 or 2 of our subscribers as members to go on a small expedition, right? We'll charter a boat and we'll go up to the North Pole where the poles are right now, and we'll pinpoint it and cross-reference that against the equipment that we've got. And maybe we could find perhaps we're a mile or 2 out, or maybe 5 miles out. But that would give us enough to calibrate our equipment here and make it even more accurate. But you guys ain't interested in that. You come for freebies, and you're not really cared about what's going on in your planet. And that leads me to something else right now. And this is going to shock you. You know, you think because of your arrogance that you're the only species in this universe. Can you believe the arrogance of some people to even not only think it, but, you know, it's almost like religious belief that humans are the only intelligent species in this universe. And one day you might find, or your children's generations from down the road from this point might find that all around the outer markers of our solar system are beacons warning people that there is an undeveloped species that is technologically advanced to a very low level, but with what they do with that technology is enough to say, don't interfere. Now, maybe there was an experiment many, many thousands of years ago that took place on this planet. And you might wonder, well, why is some of the people in our world a different colour? Why do they have distinctive features on their face? And why can we recognise them as not being the same as us? And what separates these nations of different looking people are oceans. And you know, we have mastered the technology of crossing those oceans into other countries, and you know, within hours of travel this day and age, we can find ourselves in another country, and lo and behold, everyone looks quite alien to us, don't they? Or we certainly look alien to them. Have you ever been in a village like I did a few years ago in the very north, almost Laos border of Thailand? Have you ever seen people stare at you because you've got blue eyes? But maybe those oceans were separating us for a reason. And maybe the next big step for human beings, if ever we can get our shit together on this planet, which with what Donald Trump's just done in the last 24 hours is obviously a pointing in the wrong direction. But if we could get our shit together, that the oceans that separate us out in the vastness of space, maybe one day we will evolve not to be so barbaric as what we are and medieval as what we are, and we might just be welcomed to the universal community of other worlds. Yes, what Donald Trump done yesterday shouldn't come as any surprise, because he's a convicted criminal. And you know what? I've got no sympathy for the mega people that voted him in. You know, they think he's doing the best job ever, but prices have gone up in the shops. Clearly, Americans that have been following me for quite some time have said, you're right, Gene. It's a disaster. He has ostracised every ally on this planet. He has collapsed, you know, the cheap trade that Americans, you know, were able to exploit. And for some reason, beknownst to me, you know, Donald Trump don't want you to have cheap products. I know one thing, Americans would never work for the same salaries of what the Chinese work for. So you had it good. And he screwed it up. But what do you expect from a convicted criminal who has just carried out an attack on a country that had not previously attacked America whatsoever? And you can go on about this bomb was going to be created within the next couple of weeks, but you know what? They were saying that 7, 8, 10 years ago that the bomb was going to be created by Iran, and Iran never created it. What has America just done in the last 24 hours? They have targeted nuclear facilities. It's not shameful. It's absolutely disgusting. And I am sure under international law it's a criminal offence to target such sites. You know, you will cause radiological poisoning of streams, rivers, lakes, reservoirs in another country, which will bleach into other countries neighbouring Iran. Hitting such deep underground targets like nuclear facilities, you know, I wonder how much these geniuses thought about the water bearing Sartre deep down underground. And what would be the implications if that was to be radiologically poisoned? Not one of your mainstream media will be talking about that today. They'll be supporting Donald Trump and Netanyahu, who has an international arrest warrant out for him. Think about that. This guy, Bibi Netanyahu, has attacked 4 countries in 12 months. Lebanon, Gaza, Syria, and now Iran. And he's got a criminal arrest warrant out for him for war crimes, genocide. You supporting that? I certainly won't. It should be condemned, and condemned internationally, because this is a disgrace. You know what? If they were really after people that were producing nuclear weapons, why haven't they gone after North Korea? Just tell me that. Just answer that question. Why haven't they gone after North Korea? Because they've got a nuclear bomb now. They was told they wouldn't be allowed one, but they've got it. So what difference would it have meant if Iran had got one? What happened in Iraq was nothing but lies, and they're going to keep telling you lies on all sorts of things across the range. They will always pacify and mislead you, and you will never find out the truth. It is more easier to say whatever they say, reverse it 180 degrees, and you're probably not far from the truth. Anyhow, you know, I've not barred anyone from the pole shift. You know, I thought it was £5 a month on Patreon, but actually that's dollars. It's £3.69. And if you're not interested in paying £3.69 to get a regular update on the magnetic North Poles, then don't even bother yourself. Don't even think about the magnetic North Poles, okay? Don't even use the word magnetic poles, okay? If £3.69p is something that you're begrudging yourself to put in your pocket and pull out so that you get that information, if you can't do that, you do not care about the magnetic poles. My best advice to you is go and bumble around all the other YouTube channels and websites, and good luck trying to find, a positioning of the magnetic North Pole, because when I stopped publishing it on YouTube, you know what? Also did all the others. So where were they getting their information from? I'll let you think about that. You have a good day. As always, bye for now.